You are not less than someone else because of your struggles with mental illnesses. You are not less of a Christian because you use medication. You are not less of a child of God because you struggle mentally or have chemical imbalances in your brain. Here at Hope+Elim, you are loved, you are embraced, and you are welcomed here. That is something that I want you to know. You have a God who is faithful. You have a God who is there. You have a God who has experienced the same mental struggles you've gone through throughout human history. He is not new to mental wellness. That's sometimes what we do in the church. We fully dismiss someone's chemical imbalances, mental struggles, and we say, if you just behaved right, we don't care about the rest. Behavior modification is not what we're about here at Hope+Elim. We are about soul transformation, mind transformation. It's not behavior modification, it's the wholeness of who you are, because God transforms you into a new person by changing the way you think. So if God can transform you, and that's the way He transforms you is by changing the way you think, we have to talk about the way we think. Job had questions for God. God is big enough to handle your questions in the midst of your depression. God is big enough to handle your challenges in the midst of your anxiety. This is what the Bible continues to show as examples of imperfect people loved and used by a perfect God. My Father gets the reception to send me messages, and He's the one I trust. The messages that I believe in, the things that I think about, and people who are aligned with my Father gets my receiving. Feelings get my recognition because we're not dismissing our feelings. We're not dismissing the ways in which we feel things and what we're going through. We don't push them to the side. We don't say, shut that down. We don't say that emotions are too much. We say, I recognize this feeling, and God recognizes this feeling. Let me tell you this. It says that Jesus wept, and however you take that passage, whether you think it's because of anger, because He believed that they didn't trust Him with faith, or whether you believe that He is weeping and broken because his friend has died and He sees people grieving, either way, Jesus felt the feeling and knew the result. Jesus wept knowing He was going to raise Lazarus. So if God knows the result of something and still feels, He has capacity for you to feel, even knowing what's about to happen. Even though feelings get my recognition, faith gets my response. Because though we feel things, and it is good for us to feel things and process through that, in the end, are my feelings in charge of me, or is my faith? Is what God says about me and says about others in charge, or is it me?